Episode 50, the Big 50, Our League podcast. I'm on after the duo Eds alongside my co-host, my brother, my brethren, Ethan. Disclaimer first and foremost, if you're looking for any NBA, any NFL, this ain't the episode for you. This is straight English Premier League football, baby. The season's back. We've both played. Let's go, my guy. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Obviously, a bit happy about the result yesterday. You probably are happy with your result on Friday.
Buzzing.
But yeah, a lot to unravel in this episode.
A lot to unravel. So like I said, the Premier League season's back. It feels like it's been a decade. Yesterday, that's all I did. I wanted to go out yesterday, but I was like, you know what? Why don't I just first and foremost save money and not going out and just enjoy the football? I watched Chelsea played yesterday, PSG played yesterday, Dortmund played yesterday. That was the games on TV. Obviously, United's about to play in a bit versus Brighton. And after that, who's going to play as well? West Ham City.
West Ham City. Yeah.
So there's a lot of good games on today.
You are now listening to Our League podcast, made in London, distributed all over the world.
Let's start off with the footy. Friday night football. Why is Arsenal always... Do you know why Arsenal's always Friday night football? One, because people hate to admit Arsenal is that club. Sorry, not sorry. And two, people are thinking upsets. And if Arsenal lose, because we've got this is not me trying to gas it up, but we do have the loudest fan base just because of our YouTube channels and stuff like that, right? If Arsenal lose, it is everyone's dream in the media because they can go on for a whole week. Oh, Arteta's under pressure. They've underprepared and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Sod you lot off, right? Because we won, 2-0, convincing performance. But I will say this. I saw some things online. Oh, they were hanging on for a bit. Are you expecting every game to be 6-0? Can we not just win 2-0, happy days, set up shop, and then call it a day? Key performances for me. Gabriel Jesus didn't score, but he played blinding game of football. Looked a bit knackered towards the end. Shevchenko played a good game as well. I love the fact that we can take off a player like Shevchenko and bring on Tini off the bench, and it'll be vice versa. It shows that we're building that depth now. What's it called? Who else? Saliba, sorry. He's my new favorite player. I just love him. But he's got 2 years left on his deal. Hopefully we sign him to a new deal. Guy's been here on 3 years already in this first debut game. Man, I was just overly thrilled with the performance. Ben White as well playing right back. He had Zaha in his pocket. Fair play to him. And man, I still want a centre mid. I still want a striker. But in terms of where we were last year, in terms of being prepared as well, because even the doc will probably touch on that a bit later. We was underprepared last year. Guys were a bit injured. Guys were coming off the Euros as well, so they weren't available to play, and COVID and stuff. But it looks a more convincing Arsenal now. What was your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, no, I'd say that first 20 minutes, Arsenal were unstoppable. Palace couldn't get a touch of the ball. They couldn't get a hold of it. Gabriel was just unbelievable.
Which one?
Jesus. So sharp. He did that little thing on the edge of the box where he nutmegged someone.
Yeah.
And then obviously Martinelli has to finish that.
Oh, yeah, he does.
But yeah, no, you guys look so sharp in that 20 minutes and obviously deserved the goal, maybe two at that point. But then Palace got into the game in the second half. I thought Arsenal did well defensively to hold on to with those results or those places like Palace, usually a troubling place for Arsenal to go to. And you were experienced in your performance and got that 2-0 win. So, yeah, no, it's a good performance and we'll see what Arsenal has to hold this season because they look sharp. You look good. You kind of know where this team is heading, really. You're building on what you did last season. So, exciting times for Arsenal, I think.
You can see how much Gallagher's missed for Palace, innit?
Yeah. No, you know what Palace are missing? I think a striker up top. That
for years they've been missing a striker up top.
Just hassle someone. Because Edouard, I know he's a good player, but he just didn't do anything that game. Mateta's he's decent, but he's not that striker. He's not going to get you 20 plus goals this season. They're crying out for a creative player. I know Eze had his chance. I think he's still short of game time as well. So yeah, Palace looked good. Palace looked all right for the first game of the season, but we'll see what happens with Palace. I think they'll be maybe top 15 team.
I think they are starting, like you said, to build and bringing in some pieces to help Zaha. But like you said, they need a striker. Bro, minutes before the game, it was announced Benteke's gone DC United. How old is he?
Yeah. I think he's only like 29, maybe 28, 29.
That's clearly for peace.
Yeah.
Benteke.
Or maybe he might be 30. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, Christian Benteke is 31. Oh, okay, he's 31.
Okay.
But still though, man, yeah, like he's still a young guy. Like, maybe like 33, 34, you do that. But he's not been that guy ever since he left Villa, to be fair. You know what I mean? Like his first season at Liverpool, he was all right for a bit, but they need a striker. They need a striker. And I do think they need because Eze's a very talented football player. I like Eze. I'm a fan of Eze. Him and Gallagher are two different type of players though. Gallagher is like an 8. Eze's more of a 10, final third. Yeah. That's where he's creative with the magic word. Gallagher can progress the ball forward, and you see that they're missing that type of guy because their midfield was nullified. Also, it helped that Thomas Partey's fit. We're not going to talk about Partey. Yeah, because when you know what I mean, the legal stuff, you get me?
Yeah,
we're not going to we're not going to talk about Partey. Xhaka looked good, to be fair.
Yeah, no, Xhaka had a decent game. Obviously, the dive in the first couple minutes.
That's him.
Yeah. He's always going to get a yellow. But yeah, no, Arsenal in general looked very good in that 20 minutes. A very experienced performance. And yeah, no, a good result at Palace because, like I said before, it's a difficult place to go to.
How much money do you think Xhaka spent on fines?
I don't even want to think. I don't even want to think of it because he gets over 10 plus bookings and red cards
and red cards, bro.
Yeah,
he'll get at least 2 red cards a year. That's man.
That's a given. That
100%. And then first game of the weekend, of Saturday, Fulham Liverpool 2-2. You asked me, was I watching the game? I was in the gym, so I turned it on, and I caught the penalty, Nunez's goal, and then I missed Salah's goal. But Mitrovic, he's carrying on his form from the Championship. Because remember, he came into the Prem years ago with Newcastle, touted as this guy. I think they bought him from Anderlecht, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
And then he was meant to be this beast of a guy, whatever. Still very young back then. He's still young now. I don't even think he's like 28, 29 yet. Phenomenal game of football. What he did to win that penalty as well was really, really good. I didn't know he had that footwork to him, to be fair, if I'm being completely honest. And then Nunez, he scored a little flick goal. Salah obviously had to score. But Fulham, this isn't our dad's Fulham, it looks like. It looks like it's a new progressive Fulham that actually, hopefully, they can stay in the Prem. Because I've said it numerous times, they annoy me. The last 5 seasons, they've come up and down. But what was your thoughts on them?
Yeah, no, it wasn't a reserved performance. They didn't hold back. They went for it against a Liverpool side that is just unbelievable at times. They in that 45 minutes they fully deserved that to go into half time with that 1-0 lead, even probably more, because they just dominated. Andres Pereira from United just seemed a different player. Just everyone. I don't even think they've really added to the squad. They've just kept those guys that even came back the first time they got back into the Premier League, and they looked a team, man. Liverpool surprised me. It wasn't the performance that I expected, but yeah, they got their draw. I think it maybe lucky to get a draw from that game, but yeah, no, very good game of football and probably a good advert for Premier League football as well.
How much do you think they're going to miss Mane this season?
Very much so, because you could tell at times it was
because at the first 15
minutes,
Fulham was all over him. And I'm just thinking, Mane, he's a workhorse. He's up and down that flank, like both ways. I don't know if Diaz is that player, to be honest. I haven't really watched him too tough like that, if I'm being completely honest with you. But I've watched so much of Mane. Is like that guy, he can win you games when he's not even scoring goals, just off the pressure he puts on guys. So yeah, they're probably going to miss him a lot. but there's links of them with other players as well that are frank. But like you said, Liverpool, they've still got a great manager, still got a great squad. The guy they bought from Fulham, what's his name? Portuguese guy.
Fabio Carvalho.
The fact that they can bring on guys like him off the bench, like younger, that's the way you build a team. You've said this numerous times. You have to have good veterans and great young guys, and Harvey Elliott as well. They'll be able to bring him off the bench as well. But yeah, like you said, Nunes, like the rich get richer essentially, and they look like they're gonna do big things again. But that draw could hurt them. That because last year it was a single point that won the league. And they was expecting to win that game. So the fact that Fulham took it to them, I think everyone was a winner apart from Liverpool that day. Next game is Bournemouth 2, Aston Villa 0. I literally just finished watching just on Match of the Day. I'm not sure. Did you watch Match of the Day? Did you watch?
No, I watched those Sky Sports clips.
Oh yeah, cool.
On. Yeah, I didn't watch a full highlight, so I don't know what really happened in the game.
So this game, like Bournemouth, was a convincing performance for them. I heard the commentators say Gerrard's under pressure this year because they've spent a bit. But do you think he's under pressure?
Yeah, no, because he's back run of games last season weren't impressive. I think obviously they make a thing about Frank Lampard and him, even as coaches, that Frank had a better end run to the end of the season. So no, he's under pressure because he spent a lot of money. He spent a lot this window. So yeah, no, Villa need to be up there. They need to be up there this season.
You think they can be top 10?
They have a team to be up.
They do have a team
up there, but we'll have to see whether Gerrard gets the best out of this team.
Yeah. Newcastle 2, Nottingham Forest 0. I watched this game. This was a good game of football. Newcastle, they look like they've re-energized and they're going again. Obviously, they've tried to put in a bid for Maddison, 40 million. We'll probably touch on that a bit later. Really going for it this year. What was your thoughts on that performance?
Yeah, no, they dominated this game. I thought Nottingham Forest maybe would have taken it to Newcastle. I know it's a hard ground to go to St James's when the fans are on them. But yeah, Newcastle were amazing. Fabian Schär, what a goal as well. I did not expect that.
Yeah.
But yeah, they dominated. It could have been more.
What do you think of Nottingham Forest's team? I was looking at it during Match of the Day in terms of like the players. They brought in a lot of players, spent a lot of money. Money to try and that's not always the way to do it because the chemistry guys need to gel and stuff. Because if let's say they get relegated, God forbid, touch wood, because I want to see them in the league. That's a big loss for them, and then that might be hard to try and come back from that type of thing because they're not the richest of clubs, I'd say. But playing Brennan Johnson up top, Lingard in the 10, and then a few other guys. They brought in that Nico Williams guy from Liverpool. They paid like 17 million for him. That's a lot of money for a youngster, to be fair. Like, what in terms of the performance you saw from them, do you think it's just maybe the nerves got to the players because it's a lot of their first time in the Prem, or maybe adjusting to the pace of the Prem? Because that one game, especially with a player like Saint Maximin, it was literally like they get the ball out to Maximin like this, and he's off. You know what I mean? A lot of guys haven't competed against a guy that of such pristine. What did you think of them in terms of like? Do you think they'll be just fine, or they're going to ease into it, or maybe a difficult start to the Prem for them?
Yeah, it might. Probably a mix of all of those things that you've listed. I think easing into the Prem, but the Prem is the fastest league in Europe. No one can compete with the Prem.
You have to be fit, man.
You have to be non-stop, 90 minutes, you're up and down. I think with Nottingham Forest, I think a lot of their points will come at the City ground, their home. I don't think they necessarily pick up that many points away from home because that City ground is just electric.
Yeah,
especially in the Championship, we saw a few times last season they can win you a game. But yeah, no, it's all about easing them into it. I think they need a few more games to actually ease into the Premier League. I know they've got Lingard, who's obviously played in the Prem, but a lot of these guys are coming in not knowing what the Prem's about. I think they just need a bit of time, and I'm sure they'll pick up points.
Johnson can't be playing up top for them, in my personal opinion. He should be playing on the flank because he ain't gonna. Like, he's still young, man. Like, obviously, we're big fans of him. We give him his flowers so many times during the season last year. But yeah, he can't be playing up top. I'm looking at this Newcastle squad, yeah. It's a good team, Eve. It's a good team, man. They got Pope in the goal, Trippier, Shah, Byrne, Target, Willock, Gomares, Joelinton, Almiron, Wilson, St. Maximin. A couple like higher caliber players up in the squad. That could be like a top 8 team, I reckon.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Just good game of football that. Spurs 4, Southampton 1. I'll let you go,
man. Surprising because Southampton went ahead in this game. Didn't expect it. That volley from Ward-Prowse was a really good volley. But yeah, no, the Spurs turned it around. Obviously, got the result that we probably expected. I didn't expect 4-1 though. 4-1 was a bit of a crazy result, but
on goal.
Yeah, no, Spurs do look good. I've got to say they probably will be up there in the top 4, competing with the likes of say Arsenal and Chelsea for those spots. But yeah, no, Spurs do look good, and Conte's got a well-managed team at this moment in time.
I have to, you know what? Let me big them up a little bit. They did. I'm not even gonna lie. They looked good, man. They looked good. Ryan Sessegnon, I've been a fan of his since he was at Fulham. Happy that he got his, his first goal in the Prem. That's gonna do a lot of confidence for him, and maybe he kicks on and becomes a full England international. Kulusevski looking at their best player right now.
Yeah,
unplayable. Cutting in on that left foot. If I'm a coach, whoever's marking him is assignment. Just whatever you do, don't let this guy cut on the left. It's giving me Robin vibes. If you know what I mean, like because it's potent, bro. The crosses, the shots, yeah, man. And he did his skill when he was on the byline. He just got past the guy so easy. Similar to that clip I sent you on TikTok earlier.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, this guy, he's looking like a player. He's looking like a player. I can almost guarantee you there probably like, grinding their teeth thinking, damn, why do we let this guy go? But their finances, because, oh, man. Yeah, but Spurs, look, very convincing performance. I want to touch on Ward-Prowse, right? Because a lot of people were saying, could he be a starting caliber player in a top 6 club? What do you think?
I think he could, but it depends what system you play with him, because I don't know. What do you see Ward-Prowse as? Is he a box to box? Is he a holding midfielder? What do you reckon he is?
I say deep line playmaker, to be honest.
Okay. Take that Spurs team. Do you reckon he'll fit in that Spurs team?
Who am I taking out?
Maybe Højbjerg.
And then who would be the other holding? Dyer? Would Dyer be the other holding, you reckon?
Oh, but maybe Basum at the holding next to him.
Then yeah, I'd have him. Yeah.
Okay.
I'd have him. Yeah. Over Højbjerg, yeah, that's it. Though.
Okay.
I don't think I'd have him over Basum or nothing.
No. Yeah, no. So maybe he does fit in maybe a top 6 club then, because I see he offers a lot, obviously, in set pieces. Can get you goals. And yeah, no, he's just a very good quality player to have in one of those top 6 clubs. He offers a lot. So yeah, I'd say the likes of Chelsea, we're crying out for someone that can play the ball at this moment in time. So yeah, I would.
You reckon he could be a starting caliber centre midfielder for Chelsea? You think that?
Ahead of Jorginho at this moment in time, maybe.
Yeah, Jorginho, but like at this moment in time, Jorginho's just penalties, to be fair. But you know what? He scores them. But
yeah, he scores them, yeah.
Do you think someone like Ward-Prowse would accept like a top 4, top 6 club coming in for him if it meant he was coming off the bench, but he's guaranteed to play every game, but he comes off the bench?
No, I don't think. I think he needs that. Obviously, going into a World Cup, he's been in a few of the England selections recently. So yeah, no, I think Southampton is his home. I don't reckon he'll leave Southampton. I see him like Matt Letizia, a one-man club. I don't reckon he'll move. He'll probably get those call-ins maybe from some of these top 6 clubs, even maybe the likes of Newcastle, maybe in time to come. But yeah, no, I reckon he'll stay at Southampton.
Leeds 2, Wolves 1. I didn't watch this game. I don't know if you watched it. If you want to give a
yeah. Yeah, I watched this game. Obviously, Wolves went ahead. Pedent scored a really good volley as well. It's similar to that Ward-Prowse goal.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Leeds really turned it around. Their new guy, I forgot his name, Aronson or something like that. Really was a playmaker. I think they got him in replacement for Rafinha, and he really excelled. Bamford looked good, obviously assisted. Yeah,
Bamford played, yeah? How was he looking good, yeah?
He looked obviously a bit off the pace, but assisted the second goal, and they look good, Leeds. They look good. To get a result against Wolves is a really good result.
Yeah. All right, your club, Chelsea 1, Everton 0. Good game of football. I'll let you go first, man.
I'll take the win because Everton is a club that we usually struggle against, but the performance in overall I wasn't happy with. A very lackluster, crying out for a creative player. Those creative players didn't really turn up. Mount was non-existent. Havertz, he's not a player to play down the middle. I can't see it.
You don't reckon?
I can't see it. It just very. It's just not up to the pace of it as well. Like you saw, obviously the Ben Godfrey injury, and he just looked so casual on the ball. It's just we're crying out for a creative player. Sterling was one of those shine out stars in the game. Obviously, the stoppages didn't help the game flow. But yeah, no, Chelsea's crying out for a few more signings, I think. Koulibaly.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, big man at the back.
He looked good. He looked good, but physically, I mean, the cramping up like every 5 minutes. He looked after the 60th minute.
He's not used to it, bro. It's fast, man. He's been in Italy for like 10 years, fam. It's different. It's different.
It's different here. So yeah, no, he looked good in spells. But yeah, no, I was excited to see Brozier come on. Brozier looked a bit sharp off the ball. Obviously, hardworking. Wanted to see Gallagher play, to be fair, but he obviously only got like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Chelsea looked like a side. I don't know what the plan of going forward. Obviously, we know the plan. We know the plan of Spurs and Arsenal at the moment. You're building on what you've made last season. I don't know. I really don't know what the project is at Chelsea at this moment in time.
It's youth. That's the project at Chelsea. A lot of the old boys are going to get shipped out and you're bringing in... Fam, you just spent 20 million on a youngster. It's 18 at Villa. Like, obviously, Arsenal was in for him, but we was getting quoted 5. You don't pay 20. A lot of money. Matey boy from Brighton. What's his name?
Cucurella,
yeah? What's his name? Cucurella?
Yeah, Cucurella.
61 million, a lot of money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So the project of what is it going forward? Because we spent 50 million on Ben Chilwell.
Yeah,
we've spent 60 million on this Cucurella. So 110 million on 2.
It's giving me Man City vibes.
It's just like I just want to see what the project is at the moment in time, because we're buying players that obviously are good players, but the signings that Chelsea fans don't want to see. We want to see a striker. We want to see maybe a midfielder, a creative midfielder that will break those lines. We're not seeing that at this moment in time.
But Cucurella is a Tuchel signing. Chilwell wasn't a Tuchel signing. And
yeah, that's true.
You've said that you think Tuchel's going to be there for a while, especially underneath this. Is a new ownership now, so he may just want to come and stable the ship. You know what I mean? Like, he's bringing in guys, he's bringing in youthful guys, and he probably likes what he's seen from the manager season before. Won the Champions League, win the FA Cup final, top 4. You know what I mean? And he's a respected coach throughout Europe. You know what I mean? So Tuchel could probably be there for another 5-6 years, bringing in his players now. I was listening to the Foster cast earlier, and they were saying there's a difference between head coaches and managers. I'm not sure of Tuchel's title, but do you reckon he's the type of guy that would want a say in the type of players he's bringing in? Or from what we've seen in the past, i.e. Lukaku, it seems that certain clubs, Arsenal have been guilty of this in the past as well, so have Man United and Chelsea last season. Some clubs is like, no, we're going to buy a player and you have to play him. Do you think moving forward, he's being like, listen, in order for this to work, I need to have a say in the guys that we're bringing in?
I think he's been very vocal in his press conference. Even yesterday, he said, I'm unsure what happens with Chelsea this season. He said people need to maybe be a bit patient with them, but he's unsure because he knows he needs certain players, and I don't think Todd is bringing in those players that he wants. I don't necessarily think Cucurella is his signing.
You don't think?
I don't think Sterling or Koulibaly are his signings.
Oh, big statement that Eve.
No, this is Todd Bowley's signings. I can guarantee it, because the Aston Villa guy, say for example, I think that's a Todd Bowley signing.
Yeah, that's for the future.
So a lot of these signings aren't really Tuchel signings, because if someone comes out saying after
even
that
Sterling, you think Sterling's not a Tuchel signing? Well, I've seen it in preseason. He looks like he loves Sterling.
He loves him, but I don't necessarily think that's his signing. I don't think he would go out. Obviously, we've got players in that position that can play there. Obviously, Hudson-Odoi, Pulisic. So Sterling wasn't an essential sign. It wasn't a signing that we necessarily needed.
You need a striker.
So I don't reckon Tuchel wanted those signings.
Speaking of Callum Hudson-Odoi, popped up on my Sky Sports news today. He is axed out of Chelsea. Your thoughts on that?
It was a given, to be fair. I think he needs game time. Obviously, going into this World Cup, whether if he plays for Ghana or England, he needs to be playing. And at Chelsea, it doesn't seem like he will be playing. Sterling is that main guy now. Obviously, the main point in that Chelsea team at the moment. Even you saw yesterday, a lot of stuff came through Sterling. So yeah, no, I don't blame Hudson-Odoi to go somewhere else, such as Southampton and other teams that are calling out for him.
And Amari Hutchinson went out on loan, and you was like, no, he'll get a chance at Chelsea. Bro, I'm telling you, this guy's not going to get a chance at Chelsea unless the new owner is saying, again, youthful projects, we're building for the future. And the Aston. So what was your thoughts on the Villa? What's his name? I can't even pronounce his name, to be fair.
Chukwuemeka or something like that. So,
20 million for, how was he, 19? 18, 19?
Yeah, 19. So the Hutchinson thing, I think he does need a loan. He needs a loan like Reading to get that experience. I don't think playing those
under
youth
23s
or under 23 games, they're not going to give him that.
He's better than that.
So, yeah, he's better than that. So go to Reading, play Championship football, see what he can offer there, and we'll see in a couple of years' time whether he can make that step up to first team football. But yeah, this Chukwuemeka guy, I've liked the way he played for Aston Villa. He obviously got a few games here and there last season. Obviously part of that Euros winning team with England. So yeah, no, exciting times with Chelsea going forward with the youth. But at this moment in time, I don't see a clear project.
Yeah, so you want what, striker, centre mid?
Striker, centre mid.
You said centre back as well, didn't you?
Centre back as well, because we're still short of centre backs. If we're gonna get rid of Sarr as well to obviously a French club, we need another centre. Apparently, he's been in talks with, and also we got rid of Levi Colwell to Brighton on a loan deal. So
you wanted him to play as well, didn't you?
Yeah, I wanted to see him play because Huddersfield last season he performed. He took them to the playoffs. So no, disappointing to see him go, but he'll probably get that experience at Brighton.
Yeah, at least he's playing first team in the Prem. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's always good to get experience. Fofana, 80 million, looking like it's gonna happen because Leicester, they're in big trouble. They ain't signed not a one player, and they're letting their star guys go. Is he plug and play straight away?
Yeah, I think so. I think it has to be at this moment in time because yesterday at centre back we seemed a bit leggy. I think Thiago Silva.
It's catching up now.
He reads the game well.
Yeah.
But yeah, his legs aren't doing what they want to do. Aspilicueta, I think he's past it now. Obviously, we saw yesterday Koulibaly with the physicality of the game in the Prem. He's not up to. So at least have some legs in that centre back pairing.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. 80 million's a lot of money, though. I'm not too happy with that, but we have no options at this moment in time.
You are now listening to Our League podcast, made in London, distributed all over the world.
I saw a funny video, of the big man Koulibaly calling up JT, asking him for 26. So all the people that was trying to take the piss saying, you lot, it's only a number with Thierry Henry. Don't piss me off. It's more than a number, bro. Especially when it's arguably the greatest player in your club's history. Like, you know what I mean? You get it, Eve. Like 26.
Yeah,
that's a serious number, bro.
I think it comes from a place of respect. I think
100%.
Obviously had to. Yeah, no, I imagine with Arsenal it's been the same where these guys like Emil Smith-Rowe and Nketiah have actually called up these guys and is it all right if I pick this number?
Yeah.
And I'm sure they get their heads up and obviously get a little bit of a talk, like saying that you need to give this number respect and you actually have to go and ball out now. So
yeah.
And I've always got your point. I just don't think it necessarily determines what happens with that shit. Like that legacy will stay with that player beforehand. Like that's never gonna change.
Yeah, I like the fact that me personally, I think Chelsea should have put that on the original. I mean, on that actual IG page. I don't know if they did or not, but I think that would have been that would have been a good piece of content because it's a big deal. It's a big we can't act like 26 for Chelsea. It's not easy, bro. It's not easy. Do you know what I mean? So the fact that Koulibaly called him up and JT said, "Listen, mate, fan of your game," and I don't know, is he the reason he wore 26 in Napoli, or I'm not even too sure, but like because it's an odd number. Like surely it's probably because of John Terry. You're probably an admirer of his game or whatever. I'm not too sure, but
no, I'm not too sure.
I just thought that was pretty cool, and I applauded him for doing that because it was an honourable thing to do. Like you said, sign of respect as well. Staying on Chelsea because there's a lot of talking points about Chelsea. Aubameyang, Depay, and De Jong have all been offered to Chelsea. Would you take all three of those guys?
I'll take one of those guys.
Who?
De Jong. I'd love to see De Jong at Chelsea. Obviously, I've been talking about Jorginho probably a long time on this podcast. I'm probably not one of his biggest fans. So De Jong coming in would just fit our system and obviously give the license to other players in midfield, such as Kante, Gallagher, Kovacic, to actually roam the field and be a box-to-box midfielder. I think Ober's maybe... I don't think he performs I don't think he performs like we saw at Arsenal, at Chelsea. I don't think we see that. Depay, I do like Depay, but I just don't know whether the Prem's for him.
He was young when he came, though, very young when he came.
Yeah, he was young, but I don't know whether he fits our system at this moment in time. So,
what is your system? Like, what's your best lineup with the current players you have? What is your best formation and so forth?
It's difficult, because I really don't like our centre back. Obviously I like Thiago Silva. I like Koulibaly. I saw some positives out of that yesterday. Chalobah would be a starter for me as a centre back ahead of Azpilicueta.
So would you play three at the back? Yeah.
Yeah, three at the back. Always three at the back with this system at this moment in time because I feel like our centre backs are quite leggy anyway. So I would play three at the back. I'd potentially play Cucurella ahead of Chilwell in that left back position. Obviously, Reece James as a right wing back. This is where it gets difficult. Whether I put Kante in that holding position that Jorginho usually plays, but Kante gives us a bit more when he goes box to box. So, I'll probably, just to get rid of Jorginho, I probably would put Kante in. Then Kovacic, and then I'll probably play Gallagher in a three, maybe in midfield, and then it's the two up top. I don't know who I'd play up top. Like,
not Werner? You want to play Werner up top? No,
I would, but I don't think he'll get opportunities this season. I think, he's gone? I think he's long gone now. So we need the pacey. So Sterling and then probably Havertz and then Mount would miss out. Mount would be on the bench probably. So yeah,
What did you think of Kante's performance yesterday?
I think he had probably a better game than most. I think he gave us a bit more going up front. I'd say he was a solid 7 yesterday. I wouldn't say anyone was as standout as Sterling. Sterling was probably at 8 for me because he did everything. Like I said before, everything came through Sterling yesterday, and I was really excited to see him play. He could have even got a goal.
Deserved the goal.
Yeah.
What's it called? Nottingham Forest, obviously, so they got Lingard, they're trying to buy Che Adams as well as Morgan Gibbs-White. So they're trying to turn to light skin United. Like if they get those two guys in, like obviously we was speaking about them before, but that'd be good signings for them, innit?
Yeah. Che Adams is one of those signings that would be brilliant because he's physical. Obviously got that Premier League pedigree. Obviously playing at Southampton, so. Yeah, I think it's good. Morgan Gibbs-White is also another player that still needs to show off a bit more in the Premier League. We saw in the Championship with Sheffield United last season, his loan move was brilliant. But yeah, we need to see him in the Premier League to see how he could step up.
Someone we're both fans of, Maxwell Cornet joins West Ham, What would you make of that signing?
It's a very good signing for West Ham. Very surprised he's going to West Ham, to be fair. I thought maybe a top 4 club may be in for him because I don't think he'd cost that much.
Wages as well wouldn't be high either.
Yeah, wages wouldn't be too high. I think, what is it costing them? 15 million, was it? 15 million?
Like that, something like that.
So that's a no-brainer to me. I think he showed up last season for Burnley, and maybe he's gone to West Ham because he knows he'd probably get game time there.
He would have been a good fit at Newcastle. Him and Maximan on both sides of the flag. I think we spoke about this. Oh my God, that's your nightmare, bro. If them two is there. Speaking of West Ham, though, obviously they signed the striker that Arsenal wanted. Like, what do you think of them this season? What do you think they could be doing?
They'll push on again. They'll be around that top 6 position. I think they're in the Europa Conference League this season.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's a bit of a distraction for them, but you saw last season they coped with that pressure of being in Europa League last season. So they've added to this, and you can see, like I said before, with Chelsea, you can't see the project, but you can see a project with certain clubs going forward this season, and West Ham are the same. That you can see their project going forward now.
What's it called? Lucas Torreira, Arsenal player, who we bought the season after we bought, I think it was Xhaka. He was meant to be our alternative to Kante when we could have just bought Kante.
Yeah.
We bought him for 27 million, and we're about to sell him to 6 million to Galatasaray. It's a big loss. The last regime really messed up with all the transfers. One thing I gotta give Edu his plaudits is that he's shipped out all the dead wood and he's just rejuvenized the squad with young, youthful players, skillful players with resale value. I think that's what a lot of teams are starting to do nowadays as well. In terms of the bad deals, like Arsenal, not even just Arsenal, but in terms of everyone, the Prem, do you think the Prem are making so much money now? They literally just don't care. It's on to the next one next season, because we're seeing it now with Lukaku. Any other league, Lukaku's staying there until it works out.
Yeah.
But Chelsea's going, F off. If you want to go there then. And we're just going to bring in new players. You've already spent, 80 million on 2 players that, you, like you said, you're not even too sure why you bought them. What do you think of the Prem spending as a whole? I think we touched on it a bit last week, but still.
It is what it is with the Prem. The Prem know they're going to make revenue. They're going to be bringing the best players to the league. So I think it doesn't really necessarily matter to the teams like Chelsea and maybe the likes of Arsenal, United, or Spurs, and Liverpool, City. They can sell their top signings and try and buy players back. So it doesn't necessarily matter to those top 6 teams. I think the teams below maybe hits them a bit more. But the money in the Premier League's stupid. It's actually stupid at this moment in time. All
right, so United are playing right now versus Brighton. Their lineup is De Gea in goal, Maguire, Martinez, Dalot, and Shaw. That's a weak defense, in my opinion, to be honest with everybody. Midfield, Bruno, Rashford, Fred, Sancho, Scott McTominay. Up top is Eriksen. Ronaldo's left on the bench. Obviously, they're saying, I haven't been keeping too up to date with United. I'm not sure if you have either, but they say that Ronaldo left early Old Trafford at halftime. I think it was at a preseason game, I think.
Yeah, preseason. He
left early, and then Ten Hag said that, it's unacceptable. And then a lot of the media have been talking that Ronaldo, he's not getting his wish of wanting to leave the club and stuff like that. Ten Hag coming saying that that's unacceptable. I get it, you have to hold guys accountable, but is he making the situation worse with Cristiano Ronaldo, arguably the greatest player of all time?
I mean, I think that those preseason games, I think some players probably would get the go ahead and say, look, you play 45 minutes. After the 45 minutes, you can leave a bit earlier to avoid that traffic after the game. If say the likes of Ten Hag has come out and said he shouldn't have done it, he shouldn't have left early, I think, I think he's disrupting the club at this moment in time. I think Ronaldo, for all that he is an unbelievable player, he is just disrupting United at this moment in time.
Who is Ronaldo or Ten Hag?
I think it's Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Ronaldo's disrupting the club at this moment in time. He's obviously looking for out. He wants to play Champions League football. The agent has put his word out to all of these big clubs in Europe. None of these big clubs in Europe want him. So what can United do at this moment in time? You've got to play for United. You're under a contract with United. So
a lot of money.
Show these youngsters what it is to be a top player.
Yeah.
And he's not showing that at this moment in time.
Not at this moment in time, no. Let's deep dive into United, right? Because like the CEO said, we spent £1 million on players and I can't see £1 million worth on the training ground, right? And I just read out their squad. That squad stinks.
Yeah.
That squad I just read out stinks. Yeah. That's not even a top 8 club, in my opinion. I'm just being completely honest, right? I see a lot of attacking going forward, but the defense is poor. Yeah. How do they correct it at United?
It's difficult. I think obviously the Ten Hag project is to implement some of these Ajax boys, the youngsters, some of the experienced heads like Eriksen. Obviously Martinez has come to the club as well.
5'9" centre back. Jesus.
I think they're just trying to find just a perfect mix, and they probably will turn to their youngsters in this season. I reckon it's just all about time with Ten Hag. I think they need to give him time. They need to follow his regime and get those players in that will be implemented into the style of play that he wants to play.
How long does he have until the media start making noise?
I say I give him 2 years. 2 years.
2 years, you reckon?
Yeah, there's no, we don't have this expectation on United to be anything this season, like you just said there. You think that it's not even a top 8 team, so is there really an expectation of them to be fighting for the top 4 spots? I don't think so.
For me, no chance. No chance. Like I said, if they get top 8, they're lucky because their squad as constructed stinks. Donny van de Beek on the bench, Ronaldo on the bench, Elanga on the bench, Varane on the bench, Wan-Bissaka on the bench. They're linking Wan-Bissaka with a move back to Crystal Palace. That'd be a loss as well. By the way, Palace only fielded like 2 white players the other day. That was quite funny. That was kind of funny. I think that's it, my guy. Unless there's anything else. No, women's. Women's, yeah. Whoa. Okay, so England ladies won 2-1 versus Germany, the Euro finals. I was in Wembley earlier that day. We recorded the pod before the final, so people, please don't attack us. Thoughts on the performance? Great game of football, mate.
Yeah, no, the performance was unbelievable. I could never see the England lads really doing something like that in a final, especially when they went 2-1 up in the extra time, in those last final minutes where they had that ball in that corner for a good say 5 minutes, just wasting time. Yeah, unbelievable for women's football, especially in this country. I think
100%. I bought tickets to North London Derby, Arsenal women's.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bro,
this is what I'm saying.
Cheap,
so
bro. It was like £13, Eve.
Yeah.
I saw the price.
Yeah.
What? 100%. I'm buying this. Especially because two of our ladies was like two of the pivotal parts of us winning it. Yeah, man.
Yeah, no, what it's gonna do to the women's game, the revenue that it's gonna bring in, obviously the attraction from young girls, especially the likes of my niece.
Have you seen the advert already? Have you seen that new advert with Ian Wright? I think it's for Barclays.
Yeah, for Barclays. Barclays are obviously a big sponsor of the women's game. Yeah, no, it's amazing, and it's gonna inspire the youth to actually want to play football or other types of sports, because it doesn't necessarily need to be football, but I think those other women's sports that aren't really generating that much money, I think it will probably spur some English women girls on.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, like you said, you know what it is, Eve? It's gonna turn these girls into household names. That's what it's gonna do.
Yeah.
It's gonna do so much for the women's game. You're gonna start seeing more. They're gonna start making bigger salaries as well. Players are gonna start going for higher transfer fees as well. More women's game. They do a good job of showing women's football on TV, to be fair. But I think they're gonna start showing it more. Guys like myself, who I watch the odd women's game here and there. Again, we watch so much sports because we have to cover so much sports. There's only so much we can do. I am now gonna make a conscious effort. To watch more women's football. Like I just said, I bought tickets to the North London Derby for women's. I think it's September the 14th or 13th, something like that. Tickets are so cheap, it made sense for me to go, and I'll probably go to more women's games than I do men's game moving forward now. And yeah, man, it was just a great thing to see, especially for the girls, you know. So when the men can't do it, send the women, essentially. that's what it is. And it was packed. That stadium was full to the brim, man.
Yeah, record attendances. I think it was 87,000, which is incredible numbers for the women's game.
Yeah, phenomenal thing. Yeah, episode 50, Our League podcast. I'm gonna offer to do it as alongside my co-host, my brother, my brethren. We hope you enjoyed. Follow, like, subscribe, tell your buddies to tell your buddies, and that's it. We've been out. Peace.